Code of conduct.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I put in extra work that just can't be found. I took the sword out the stone, wasn't a thing. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. God made me punch in accurate numbers. My castle won't crumble. What I tackle will fumble. I've been a leader when they ain't see it, but now my feet is up. According to me, royalty didn't end with King Tut. Crown on my head, clouds is at my legs. Big said sky is the limit. I look down on the ledge. I push the bar like I'm opening a cell. Hands in my cookie jar, you won't come out with a single nail. I need all of mine. The weight of my shoulders won't fit on a scale. What's a king to a giant? Well, Goliath fell. Even if we playin' chess, dog, this king can't be checked. I make all my moves on the board, I invented my steps. I'm a king, the blood of a ruler, I feel like Mansa Musa. Make your squad disappear like landing by the Bermuda. Triangle, look at it from my angle. I'm a king, the closest thing to being one of God's angels. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I put in extra work that just can't be found. I took the sword out the stone, wasn't a thing. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is the Code of Conduct with the King podcast. I am your host, JSpenceTheKing. And it is the week after bye. And now it's home week. We are facing Miami this week. So hopefully that means we have a lot of things to celebrate. Historically, so far, Josh Allen has owned the Miami Dolphins, and they head into Western New York. And hopefully we can have a repeat of the last few times that we've seen them. We'll see. But what's going on, Bills Mafia? What's up? It feels like a while. I did Code of Conduct last week, but then Joe and I didn't do the Hump Day Hotline, and then the Chop Up crew and I didn't do the Chop Up on Saturday. So it feels like it's been a long time, but man, I had a good recharging period there. So we'll see, how things develop for the rest of the week, but I'm amped. I'm ready for tonight. I missed all y'all. Let's get right into it. It's a couple things. First, that I observed from this past weekend's activities or full slate of games. The Bills weren't there. There was a couple teams that were on bye week. This was like the worst week to play fantasy football for most people. But the Bills were on bye, so were some other contenders. But we still got a chance to watch some good football over the weekend. And I'm gonna tell you, I know last week we took a L. We lost to the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. There was a lot of Bills fans that traveled for it, got soaked in the rain, came back, all types of stuff. Everybody was upset, right? I still think we're the best team in the AFC. And I know the Titans just beat the Chiefs just like we did a couple weeks ago. The eye test will tell me that we're still the better team in the AFC. And I don't know how to start having these conversations without sounding like I'm arrogant or without sounding like, there was a couple fan bases throughout the years that I've been a Bills fan that everybody has the fan base, their own particular fan base, which is like, I can't stand those guys. For me, for the most part of my life, it's been the New England Patriots fans. As of late, it's been the Tennessee Titan fans and the Kansas City Chiefs fans. And obviously Miami and New Jersey have had their fair share of, I can't stand these guys. The Dallas Cowboy fans, let me just tell you how bad they've been for the longest. Now, I have a friend now. His name is Rick. He's been on the show once. I'm sure I'll have him back on at some point. But he's pretty much like the only Cowboys fan that I can deal with. He's in a couple of my fantasy leagues as well. So he got season tickets to the Cardinals and stuff. So he's my dude. He's a good guy. But outside of him, a lot of Cowboys fans are on my short list. But all that to say, I don't want to become the fan base. I don't want to be the fan that's now like, I just don't have respect for the teams. But here's the deal. I'm not trying to show disrespect to Tennessee. They beat us. They absolutely beat us. They Derrick Henry manhandled the team for the most part. There were plays there that obviously could have gone a different way because of whatever. There are no excuses. We lost the game. So that's why I said the Tennessee Titans have beat the Bills. And so this is no disrespect to their fan base. This is no disrespect to the team. The team won. The Buffalo Bills lost. But I don't know, man. I've went back and I've watched that game so many times. And then, like I said, just watching the games Sunday, there were so many things that I saw that made me just say, man, the Bills are really the best team in the AFC. Now, it could be a bad matchup with the Titans because the Titans are super physical. They play a brand of football that I don't think the Bills or most teams in the league are used to seeing. So I think that plays into a little bit of why we weren't able to beat them. We weren't able to beat them because we weren't successful in the red zone. So there are things that the Buffalo Bills did last season that they're not doing well this year. But then there are things that they weren't doing well last year that they're doing better this year that I feel like the value of it, they're equally valued depending on what side of the coin you're on. But for instance, we weren't getting good pressure on the quarterback. We weren't sacking the quarterback. This year we are, and because of that, we're leading the league, or we're a league leader. I haven't checked it since the bye, but we're league leaders in turnovers. We're league leaders in pressures and sacks and all that good stuff. Every statistic on the defensive side of the ball on that line, we're there. We're doing it. But now you flip the side. You're on the offense. Last year we were basically money in the red zone. Now we're starting off a little slow, and it's getting to the point in the season where it's no longer a start off. It's starting to unfold. The team, you're starting to be able to understand who teams are. We know teams' identity now. It's what was it, week 6, week 7 now. Week 8 going into this week, we're going into week 8, and now you're able to understand. No, this is a running team. This is a defensive team. Going into the season, you always have your thoughts. Okay, well, this is how the roster is built. This is how they played last year. This is what the coach typically is. This is what the team will look like. But last year, for instance, with the Buffalo Bills, nobody thought they were going to be an air and raid team. Like literally, the Bills were out there just gunning it. Nobody expected that because up until last year, we didn't see Josh Allen perform on that level. So now we're seeing week 8. We're going into week 8. Now we're starting to see, okay, this is who the Bills are. This is who the Kansas City Chiefs are. And first of all, they don't look good. This is who the Titans are. The Titans have been physical for the last few years. And it's just a brand of football that not many teams play. And it's a brand of football that really is a endangered species. We haven't seen this type of football from many teams for years. Now, granted, running attack you have Baltimore. The Bills were this type of team when we had Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator. We would run the ball like crazy with Shady. We weren't as physical because we didn't have Derrick Henry, but we were a running team, which made us a physical team. I still just don't see it, guys. I don't see it. The Buffalo Bills are we have to get better in the red zone. That's why we lost. We can blame it on Josh. I know a lot of people do. That last play there when he slipped. We can blame it on Sean McDermott and say, hey, he made the wrong choice. You can blame it on so much. You can blame it on the referees with, the play that Henry, the 70-something yard touchdown that he had should have been called back. He was holding. They were holding Jordan Poyer. They were holding whoever. Everybody was being held that play, it looks like. We could blame it on that stuff. But the fact is the game was won, and there's times where the other teams can say, hey, that was holding or that was this, and it didn't get caught. It's part of the game. It's been part of the game for years where referees miss calls or make calls that shouldn't be made. It's happened. So I'm at the point where I'm not going to cry about the hold. I'm not going to cry about missed calls in whichever way. The Tennessee Titans are a good football team. I just can't get over the fact that I feel like the Bills are better. The Kansas City Chiefs do not look like the Kansas City Chiefs of the last 5 years. Patrick Mahomes does not look like Patrick Mahomes. Now, I'm not going to go as far as some of these other guys and say Patrick Mahomes has regressed and he's no longer, Patrick Mahomes could pretty much figure it out, flip a switch, and then the rest of the season play phenomenally and still be in the playoffs. Still, there's a lot that can happen this season. So I'm not going to be one of those guys to write off the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Not doing it. But I didn't see a lot from around the league that made me say, yeah, this is it. Now, granted, Cleveland, Baker Mayfield was injured. He didn't play. But I tell you, I'm not scared of them in the AFC, even when Baker's healthy. I'm not scared of Pittsburgh. I'm not scared of, I'm the teams that we're supposed to be scared of, according to the national media. I'm not scared of. Are you really scared of the Chargers? Now, I love their quarterback. They have a very, very, I love Justin Herbert. If I didn't have Josh Allen on my team and they said to me, hey, you can pick one guy from around the league to start your team based on the type of offense you want, the kind of offense I want, give me Justin Herbert. I love Lamar. I've come out a lot publicly and said, like, I wanted to draft Lamar that year that we drafted Josh and blah, blah, blah. I love Lamar. You give me Justin Herbert. The way the league is going, I want success for a long time. And Justin Herbert has the arm. He has the mental capacity. He has everything that you need to have a prolific, very, very good, high-powered offensive team. And that's what you're seeing out there. And you got two receivers that love to catch the ball and can do it very well. Mike Williams needs to stay healthy. Mike got to stay healthy. But man, they have a team that can do some things. And that running attack, if that running attack can really get it figured out, Eckler's nice. Eckler's nice, but I think they're similar to us, where the running game still hasn't quite given them exactly what they need. Because the Buffalo Bills are, again, the best team in the AFC. The best team in the AFC. But if we could get Zach Moss and Devin Singletary to really come out here and look like RB1 and RB2, whoever you want to put in one and whoever you want to put in two, if we can get the production of 1 and 2. They played well a few weeks ago. They played well. This last game, not so much. Not so much. But I also understand our offensive line is gelling. We made some changes again. Remember? Cody Ford got benched. We brought in Spencer Brown. In last game, he looked like a rookie, and that's okay. It's absolutely okay to look like a rookie if you're a rookie. We have these expectations of these guys. And and that's even going to me when I talk about Isaiah McKenzie and I talk about, like now I'm about to talk about Devin Singletary. Look, the expectation might be greater than who the guys are. And that's okay. And it's not a negative thing. I talk about it with Tremaine Edmonds, where people have these expectations of him to be Ray Lewis and have these expectations of him to be these all-pro Hall of Fame type linebackers. When in reality, it's not who he is. And that's not to say he can't become a Hall of Fame linebacker. But the thing is, we don't need him to be Ray Lewis. So when you go back to the conversation of the Devin Singletaries and all that stuff, sometimes the expectation is we've been spoiled with a great running game for the better part of the drought. And prior to the drought, we had Thurman, but then after Thurman, you got Travis Henry, you got LaShawn McCoy, and you got Marshawn Lynch and CJ Spiller, and the list goes on. We've had great running backs, subpar quarterback play, great running backs. So now you finally get the passing attack to catch up to the running game, and it's like, man, if we just had Shady, man, if we just had, and that's no diss. Zach Moss is a very good back. Devin Singletary is a very good back. They're running the ball a lot more efficiently this year. I really don't have much to complain about, which is the funny part. We nitpick the team because the team is just that damn good. We nitpick the team. I'm talking about special teams often. To this point, it really hasn't, well, depending on who you talk to, special teams hasn't been a factor. I think it has. I think they contribute to both of our losses. Just run that back. Think about that. Week 1, block punt. Pittsburgh scores a touchdown. This last game against Tennessee, granted, there's several things. that could have happened that should have won the game for us. But we get a holding call on a potential touchdown for Isaiah McKenzie running the ball back. Special teams is a part of the game. And every week, week in and week out, I come on here and I'm on Twitter and I'm on guest shows and I'm doing all of these different things. And I'm talking about how important special teams is. And everybody is yelling at me, Spence, you're crazy. You're crazy. We don't need it. Who cares? We got an offense that's like this. Both games that we have lost this season, we've had a big play on special teams that went the other team's way. Think about that when you really want to talk about how important special teams are. Now, again, there's always factors. Week 1, Josh didn't look like Josh. The team didn't look like the team. Still played great defense, but the offense just wasn't there. All I'm saying is we still had a chance to win that game. Game last week against the Titans, we still had a chance to win that game. But special teams play. Very, very important. Very, very important. Let's move on. Look, it's real again. It's real again. My man Josh Allen is firmly in place, or firmly in the MVP race. Now, I can't and I won't say he's first. I won't say he's third, second. But I'm gonna tell you, Josh is there. Josh is there. Through 6 games, my man has 65% completion percentage, 1,723 yards, 7.5 yards per attempt, 15 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. I'm gonna just tell you that's awfully impressive, man. That's awfully impressive. And last season, Joe, really this season is starting to kind of take off a little bit more. But last season, Joe started saying like, "Hey, man, this is Wildest Dreams Land, man. I can't believe this is happening." Guess what, man? It's the second year in a row we're getting this from Josh. Josh is the real deal. We got him locked in for 8 years. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going no place. We can be excited about this. Josh Allen is firmly in the MVP race. Now, there's a couple other people that I will put there. You know, if I was to vote today, if I had a vote, I'm not media like that. It's just a podcast. But one day I'm gonna graduate to that. I'm gonna have some voting rights. I'm gonna vote my man Steve Tasker in the Hall of Fame if it's not done by then. But aside from that conversation, because I'm gonna talk about that later. That needs to. I don't understand why we still have this issue with getting him in the Hall of Fame. Don't know. But as far as the MVP, if I had to, I'm at the moment I'm going Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray is the things that he and Cliff are doing out here in Phoenix. It's phenomenal, man. They're a great team. Last week I went out and I'm like, you know what? They're not the best team in football. The Bills are still the best. I can't even argue at this point. Now, yeah, they beat the Texans the same way the Bills did. So it's not about who they beat. They're undefeated. Kyler Murray looks all a bit better. Like he looks as good as advertised, man. All the stuff that they said coming out of college that they thought he could be, he looks like it. He doesn't take big hits when he scrambles. He has the arm when he's on the move, like Josh. He's very elusive in the backfield. I go to these games, like I have season tickets, and I go to these games, and every single game he has 2 or 3 plays that are just incredible. 2 or 3 plays where he's like doing things that even including Josh just doesn't do. They're different players. So this isn't a slight at Josh. Josh is my guy. Josh is the MVP, hopefully this year. Hopefully he's the MVP of the Super Bowl. But we got to give credit where credit's due. Kyler Murray looks the part. He looks the part. The guy is amazing. He's fast. He's quick. He has a good arm. He's smart. He makes good decisions. He has the team 7-0. 7-0. This week, Aaron Rodgers comes out. You know, Green Bay Packers come out, and they go up against Kyler Murray. They're missing, at least it looks like they're going to miss Devontae Adams, COVID-related issues. Their defensive coordinator, COVID-related issues. So I expect that list to grow by the time Thursday night rolls around. I'm hoping that guys are available. I'm hoping that guys can play. But I'm going to tell you, all the reports coming out don't make it look good for Green Bay. So, again, Kyler Murray may go into another week undefeated, 8-0. 8-0. And he's doing things. I put up Josh's stats. Let me pull up Kyler Murray's stats. There's a lot of people in Buffalo, and a lot of people watching this probably won't necessarily like that I pick him for this over Josh, but man, now he has a couple more interceptions than Josh. He's 17-5, but he's 73% completion percentage, 2,000 yards. He's had an extra game. Josh has already had his bye, so he's had an extra game. But I'm gonna just tell you, he's on par to do the same things that Josh is doing. Josh has, like I said, a couple less interceptions. I didn't look at the rushing stats for either one of those guys, but both of those guys are elusive. Both those guys get out the backfield and make some problems for the other team. Got to give him his props. Still going to Tom Brady up there too. Is he not incredible? Like, what the heck is going on with this dude? He's like 49 years old and he's just out here killing, just doing stuff. Doing stuff. Real quick, I want to take a moment. Let me shout out 26 Shirts, my guy Dale Reed, Bills Mafia fam, everybody. We're doing, y'all know, at the end of all my shows, I always say, take care of each other, love each other, and live in peace. And as always, stay positive, test negative, go Bills. We do that every week, right? So we have a special edition, stay positive, test negative shirt going. This is available for another week. We're going to the second on this. Look, we're trying to do a good thing. We're trying to raise some money for crisis services. Crisis services specialize in assisting people who suffer from substance abuse, whether it be alcoholism or any other substances, depression, mental illnesses, all those things. Suicide watch. They are there, and there's a ton of resources. We're looking to raise some money for them and do something nice for some folk. We got some other announcements coming up, but do me a favor. Go ahead and head over to 26 Shirts. Go ahead and grab that shirt. It's not for me. I do not make a dime on these things. We all know Dale's story. Dale Reed and 26 Shirts, they do not really profit off this stuff. This money is going towards the crisis services of Buffalo. Let's go ahead and support. Let's do that. Let's make that thing right. Hopefully mine will get it. Well, it ends the second, so I get mine after it ends. I can't wait I got the hoodie. Y'all know how I do with the hoodies. Got one on now. So another thing I want to shout out real quick. These just in case bags. I already talked about them a bunch of times, but these just in case bags, go to justincasebags.net. We got something for everybody. Got something for the ladies, got something for the fellas. Y'all see the shirts. I got the red Zaddy joint. I got the King. There's some Buffalo Bills theme. We got some colors. Y'all see how we switched the colors up on y'all. Go ahead and head over there. The just in case bags are great. We have something for everybody. Just in case you're leaving the gym, just in case you need to freshen up after work when you're going to a mixer or something like that. We got something for you. Also, got a little sneaky link. You out at the club on the weekends or you leaving the Bills games, got something going on, go ahead and get it just in case bags. Have them on set, have them on deck for you. So when you get out there, you got everything like you need it. Back to this. Now, this weekend, we're going up against the Miami Dolphins. It's Father's Day weekend again. We get 2 Father's Days during the season, and then we get one obviously, during the spring, summerish time. But the Miami Dolphins come to see their dad, and then dad goes to see the Miami Dolphins. So Josh Allen going up against the Miami Dolphins this week, man. I'm looking forward to it. I hope to see the same things that we've seen. One of the things that the things that are in the news right now is that the Miami Dolphins are still one of the teams, the top teams that are in this conversation as far as Deshaun Watson. Whatever your opinion is about Deshaun Watson, the thing is, I can't understand why any franchise at this point, at least knowing what we feel like we know, if Deshaun Watson is innocent, that's one thing. If he's guilty, it's looking a whole lot like he's guilty. Now, I can't come out and say that, and I won't come out and say that because it's not right for me to come out and say that. We live in a society where it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And for a long time, a lot of times, especially athletes, men of color, were not given that, or we were not afforded that opportunity to be looked at as innocent until proven guilty. So I'm not going to turn around and sit here and proclaim that Deshaun Watson is guilty. What I will say is the reports, when they first came out, were alarming. They're still alarming. And if you've watched any of the personal testimonies, it's just tough. It's tough to understand why Deshaun Watson isn't on the commissioner's exempt list, or why he is not suspended. I understand that he's been inactive, but it's tough to understand why he's not suspended when you look back a few years ago and you look at um, Zeke's situation. Look at Zeke from the Dallas Cowboys. Ed Oliver was pretty much going to be suspended for way less. They thought that he was driving intoxicated, and he wasn't. There's so many stories from around the league from years ago that I can pull up and just talk about. And you have 20 plus women coming out saying these things again about this guy. And the stories seem very similar, and these women didn't know each other. Again, I'm not that dude, and I can't be that dude to come out and be like, yo, this guy is guilty. But what real NFL franchise would come out and spend 3 first-round draft picks plus extra capital? I feel like 3 first-round draft picks was the starting point to the conversation. And the way this is going, by next week, they're saying Deshaun Watson is going to end up in Miami. Now, shout out to my guy Marcel. He's down in Miami now, and he's saying that everything that from inside that organization, they're saying that these rumors are false. But somebody on the Texas, down in Houston wants these things to get out there. So they're leaking these stories. There's a ton of Deshaun Watson stories this last week and a half. There's a ton of them. Aside from desperation, I don't understand this. Deshaun Watson is a very good football player. When he's active and he's on the field, top 5 quarterback, top 4, top 3. He's up there, top 5. It's a crowded. Luckily, right now we're in a place with the league where you have very, very, very good quarterback play. You got the Josh Allens of the world, and Patrick Mahomes, even though he's not playing well. You got Tom Brady, Kyler Murray, who I just mentioned as an MVP candidate, Lamar Jackson. You have Justin Herbert. You have, so you have guys at the top. It's top heavy, which is good. It's not always top heavy. For a long time there, it was Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Drew Brees. You had the 3. Some people want to throw Rivers in there. You got the 3. Now, it seems like for a long time, you're going to have to. There were years where it was multiple teams looking for a guy. Now, Cam Newton can't find a job. He's not as good. He's done. I think he's done. And it pains me to say that. He's done. But he can't find a job because teams have quarterbacks. Like, quarterbacks are there now. And the teams that kind of sort of have question marks at quarterback have recently drafted a guy. You got Justin Fields. You got Trey Lance. You got, Jalen Hurts. You got all these young guys. So you got quarterback play. Deshaun Watson, out of all of that, when he's on the field and you're taking all this off-field stuff, taking it away, Deshaun Watson is a very good quarterback. Got into a debate last season with a lot of people about, there was a thing that went out. I think it was Buffalo Fanatics, and then it was EJ from I don't know if he's PFF now. I don't know who he's with. He yells at me when I say PFF, so I'm not going to say it, but I just said it. I think a couple of them had the thing where they said, hey, I'd take Deshaun Watson straight up for Josh Allen right now. Wouldn't be me. Couldn't be me. There was a bunch of them last year that said they would take Deshaun Watson for Josh Allen. Couldn't and wouldn't be me. Deshaun is good. And if he goes to Miami, he will make a difference on that team. They're a quarterback short. Tua Tagovailoa is a decent quarterback. He's not who we thought he would be coming out of the draft. Everybody thought, oh, he's pro ready. He should be here. He's not. He's not. I don't think he was fully healthy last season. And then this year, I just, when you watch him, now he had a good game Sunday. He played very well Sunday, 4 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. And it still looked indecisive at times. He still looks tentative. But that's okay. I don't need him to be great. He plays from Miami. The point is, they're a quarterback away. So I understand from a talent perspective. Let's go get Deshaun Watson. But what franchise is willing to cripple themselves besides the one that he just left or that he's trying to leave? 3 first-round draft picks, a couple second rounders, and players? Who's Deshaun gonna play with at that point? Because I'm sure Houston's gonna want something back. They're gonna, aside from them picks, they're gonna want players too. And then if he doesn't end up being guilty, say he doesn't do jail time, he doesn't get suspended. 3 years of first and second round draft picks? What is this? What is the draft day? The movie? 3 years. You're trading away the team's future. Now, granted, some teams have good scouting departments. I'm gonna tell you what. As much as I love Brandon Beane and I trust him and I trust the process and everything that we've doing, he and Coach McDiddy, I don't want to see Brandon Beane on this team for 3 years without a first round draft pick. I was all right with getting Stephon Diggs. I'm not okay with doing it for one player for 3 years who we aren't sure will be on the field. Brandon Beane's a wizard. He's a genius. He got Stephon Diggs and he gave up some capital that some people complained about, but the return on it, I'm gonna tell you, regardless of what you say, the return on it is dope. You couldn't ask for a better situation for Josh Allen. He has a best friend and a good teammate. You have a guy that, even though he was labeled a diva, even though he was labeled all this stuff, you have a guy that is pretty awesome. He comes here and he's taken on the community. He's taken on the identity of the team. He loves Josh Allen. He loves the community. He loves the team. He's a good leader. Got his first captain status. Should have been a captain, apparently. But you got this guy that that's 1 year. You don't give away 3. That's what the Texans did. That's why the Texans are still bad. They traded away their best player. They traded away draft picks for players that wasn't worth the draft picks. You got offensive linemen that they traded for that just weren't quite. I don't know, man. I don't know. You're not gonna make me believe that it's a smart move. Unless the league knows something I don't know, which they typically do, because I'm not privy to a lot of those conversations. Last week I read a report that said that the commissioner was down in Miami having these discussions. So I'm sure they have answers to questions that we have that we don't have the answers to yet. Because it just still baffles me, like I'm sure it baffles a lot of you. There's nobody in their right mind. I wouldn't do this deal on Madden. If you have injuries and all that stuff on, and you mean to tell me I'm doing a franchise and I'm trading away my guys and I get Deshaun Watson for my franchise mode, and for 3 years on that franchise, I still can't play with him. 5 years on that franchise, I might as well. No. Mm-mm. And I can't draft. Not that the draft in Madden to me matters as much, because you got to develop your guys anyway. Like, they come in and they're not good. But no, I'm not making this trade on Madden. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. But heading into this weekend, we got a repeat of what we saw week 2. The Buffalo Bills got to Tua Tagovailoa very, very early and often. We got him hurt. Unfortunately, he got injured. He's back. He's back. I hope he can stay healthy throughout this game. I hope it's a good game, actually. I don't want it to be a blowout. I don't want it to be a repeat of week 2. I want to beat them, and I want to beat them bad, but I want some good football. I'm actually I'm looking for the Bills to come out angry. I'm looking for the Bills to come out motivated. But I want Miami to act like they're a NFL team. I want them to act like they're not a Pop Warner team that they've shown us that they've been the last few seasons. That's what I'm looking forward to. Last year, we beat them when we didn't have anything to lose, or really anything to win. They had everything to lose. They could have made the playoffs, and they rolled over and played dead. My dog don't play dead that well. And they rolled over and gave the game to the backups, to the second units. They let Matt Barkley go in there and dominate. My man Isaiah McKenzie went in there and looked like Jerry Rice. Ask me if you heard about him. If you ain't heard about him, ask me. I'm going to tell you. He went in there and looked like Jerry Rice in week 17 last year. I need them to grow up. Put the big boy pants on and act like y'all want to play in the NFL. It's the AFC East. I said yesterday, somebody tried to tell me I was wrong. And don't be arrogant. You're talking too much crap. Miami's a division rival. New Jersey Jets are division rivals. The New England Patriots are division rivals. I've been talking crap. I'm 35 years old. I've been talking crap for the better part of 25, 27 years. And during those 20 years, 25 years, the Bills weren't good for most of them. And I used to get dragged. I used to get dismissed from conversations because the team wasn't good or the team hasn't won anything. But I participated. I took those lumps because I'm loyal, just like a lot of you did. A lot of you Bills fans are loyal. And you would take all of those negative comments that when people would talk and laugh about the team. Oh, well, lost 4 Super Bowls. I hear it. We still hear it. We still hear it because now people are mad that their team isn't good. And all they have is, oh, yeah, we won the Super Bowl in 1974. Bro, you weren't even alive. I am not apologizing anymore for enjoying this moment. The Buffalo Bills are the team to beat in the AFC. And after this run that they're about to go on, they're about to show that they're the team to beat in the NFL. Period. Let's pull up the schedule here. Because the Buffalo Bills are in prime position to get that home field advantage that we always have wanted so bad. Last season, I'm not saying that we were the better team because clearly Kansas City was. It's the reason why they beat us. But home field advantage would have made a difference. It would have made a difference. Let's look at this. So we got the Dolphins coming up. I take that as a dub. Got the Jaguars coming up. I take that as a dub. We got the Jets coming up. I take that as a dub. The Colts, I think, should be a dub. But we have an issue typically with teams who run the ball well. I'm not sure if everybody is aware of this. Jonathan Taylor happens to be a stud. He's a beast. Now, I don't think we're going to lose that game. I think we should win that game. I just don't want to. That's a game that could potentially be trapped. We should win that game. Then for Thanksgiving, K-Gun and everybody else who loves New Orleans, I know my man Los and Justin and everybody's going. We're going against the Saints. That's a dub. The Patriots should be a dub. I don't trust rookie quarterbacks. Now I'm really talking like Sonny Weaver Jr. I don't trust rookie quarterback. Buccaneers, December 12th. That one is a toss-up. That one's tough. We should beat the Panthers. Again, with the Patriots. We should beat the Falcons. We should beat the Jets. I'm hearing one in a possible L right there. So 2 possibles. If you play in spades and you only got 2 possibles, I don't need you on my team. But for the rest of this season, I see 2 possible L's there. I see possible W's everywhere. I'm confident going into the second half of the season. I'm super confident. I don't have 1 ounce of negativity towards the team from that loss last week. I don't feel bad about it. I'm not mad, upset. I'm not in my feelings about it. None of it. Every once in a while, it's good to have a chin check. I know some people think, well, week 1 was the chin check. I don't think week 1 was a chin check. I think week 1, the team wasn't quite ready. It could be that we was filling ourselves with the media attention and stuff, but I think a shortened preseason, it's not an excuse. The other team came in and won. I don't want excuses. We lost 2 games. I feel very good about the rest of this year. Yeah, and I'm underestimating the Patriots. Definitely writing off the Jets. I'm not the team, so I can do this. I can talk crap. Y'all can, I'm not trying to give bulletin board material to teams. I'm not a player. But any of you content creators that want to come on here and talk some mess, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm not the one you want to do it with. because my boys is coming in smacking everybody. We smacking everybody. Yeah. Tomorrow night, the Hump Day Hotline is back. Me and my man Joe Miller, we're gonna bring the heat back like we've been doing. We took last week off with the bye week. Like I said, some well-deserved rest time. Joe been killing it. Have y'all been catching time to shine? And I don't know why I always forget. He has 87 shows, so I always forget all of the names. But he and John Fina have one of the best shows out there. John Fina's insight on all of this stuff. Let me just tell y'all. Granted, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning is dope. Having Tom Brady on there and stuff is dope. But as far as Bills content, when you want to break down what these Bills players are doing from a perspective of a guy who's played, John Fina is second to none. I'm telling you, I feel smarter every single week after I listen to those guys' shows. Joe Miller killing it. He's killing the game. My man Bruce Nolan killing the game, but he always has. Do we expect anything less? Nate Geary joining him on Friday nights for I keep forgetting it, food for thought. And then I got my chop up crew every Saturday night. Join us again Saturday night for the chop up 9 p.m. We got some new announcements too. It's some new podcasts. I didn't print the list to read them off, so I'll make that announcement. We'll try to make sure Wednesday, tomorrow night, we acknowledge the new pod on Buffalo Rumblings. It's exciting times, man. It's exciting times. We got a lot of good content coming up. I'm gonna cut this one short. I'm gonna cut it short. We're gonna get on out of here. Like I said, do me a favor to go ahead and check out that 26 shirt special edition Stay Positive Test Negative shirt. It's going on through the 2nd. So we got this week and next week. You know what? There is one more thing I do want to say. It's the end of the night. It's Tuesday, so the day is pretty much over. I am hoping and I'm praying that everybody in Buffalo got out to vote. Actually, I'm tripping. That's next week. That's next week. I'm tripping. So, with that being the case, I'm going to say it like this. Make sure next Tuesday you get out to vote in the election for mayor. I'm not endorsing publicly anybody. I grew up close to the family of Byron Brown. I have a love for Byron Brown as a person. I was supposed to interview Miss India Walton on this show, and I didn't do so. The reason why I didn't do so is not because I dislike her or not because I don't want to endorse or whatever. I actually like India very much. I actually like Byron as a person very much. I actually, I didn't go through with the interview because I don't want to turn my show into what I ended up hating out of ESPN. So ESPN as a network has always been like the top, right? And Jamel Hill and a few others have really, over the course of time, turned the network into a very political platform. They're sports. They talk sports, but they get those politics in there. And the thing is, as a fan, it bothered me because I will go to ESPN for that getaway. Because there's politics everywhere. There's politics when I go to work. There's politics on TV. There's politics on the radio. There's politics everywhere I go. There's politics. So when I turn on the football game or when I turn on the basketball game, and then I want to go and I want to watch my favorite personalities talk about these games in sports after. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear analysis on why Josh Allen was able to jump over and hurdle guys that other guys can't even get around. That's what I want to talk about. So I didn't do the India interview for that reason. But I will say this election is very important. It is one of the most important elections in recent history for Buffalo. Look, there's time there is time for everything. Right now is the time to make your voice heard. And I'll leave it at that. There's time for everything, and right now is the time to make your voice heard. So if you can, please make sure next Tuesday, please make sure you get out to vote early and often. Get out to vote. Get out to vote. If you don't know where you're registered to vote at, like if you don't know your polling place, find out. Go online. I'll tweet out a link later. Get out and vote. Please get out and vote. I'm no longer in the city of Buffalo, but I love the city of Buffalo so much. I do. And if there's a small part of me that has a little bit of regret. Back in the day, I ran for council member, or I was preparing to run for council member. Had some things happen as far as my music career at the time. Ended up doing a tour, so I didn't run. But I love the city so much. I love Buffalo so much that politics is very, very much within my. It's in me. My sister is a city court judge. I grew up in the church. It was a lot of things that I did that was very political for the city. A lot of the things that I'm doing right now, the fundraising, a lot of it is still in the same vein. Like it's a lot of the things that I do. So there's a small part of regret for me as far as leaving the city, because I feel like there's so much work to be done and there's so much that we can do to benefit the city. I'm gonna just say this year is a very, very, very important. It's an important election. Very important election. Get out and vote. So, y'all know how I do it over here with the code of conduct. Y'all love each other, take care of each other, and live in peace. And as always, stay positive, test negative. Go Bills.
Code of conduct.